then definition 2 says that the physical or corporeal substance in general, whether solid, liquid, or gaseous, especially as distinguished from incorporeal substances as spirit or mind, or from qualities, actions, and the like. All right. So matter is basically everything we see that exists.
Right. So this is a definition of matter as physical being.
Correct.
Physical existence.
Now, some would say, "Oh, well, you're being petty with breaking down the meaning of each word." But I think it's important that we American people know the meaning of our words. We can't change the meaning of words. Okay. Mm-hmm. All right. So my point is, and one of the reasons why I can't stand the movement, if you will, not the idea that Black Lives Matter too, but the idea or the movement that says Black Lives Matter. And if you say Black lives, you are talking about all Black people in that community and that their life matters. Okay. Mm-hmm. If you sit there and say, well, Black Lives Matter is not talking about single parent homes in the Black community, or they're not talking about abortion in the Black community, then you are telling me that all Black lives don't matter.
Yes, that's exactly right. That's exactly right. So yeah, so this is, and this is where you see the falling out between all lives matter and Black Lives Matter. And I actually understand some of it. Look, the early on, what Black Lives Matter was saying was, we understand that all lives matter, but people who were outside of the group Black Lives Matter were saying, we just mean that we think Black lives need a little bit more help and protection right now. That's not what the organization was saying. That's what some individuals meant. But what they missed when they started crossing over into the organization was exactly what you're just saying, which is that Black Lives Matter doesn't care about all Black lives by the way they donate, by the way that their activism is done, and by their news stories. They don't speak out about all Black lives. They only speak out about a very small minority of Black lives, which are, as you said, Black lives taken by white cops, which is why one of the things I love to say is, name your organization accurately. What BLM should be called is Black Lives Taken by White Cops Matter, because they don't care about Hispanic on Black crime, which happens much more frequently than cop on Black crime. They don't care about Black on Black crime. They don't care about Black abortion. They don't care about Black poverty. They don't care about Black fatherlessness, which affects incarceration, high school graduation, job placement. They don't help any of those topics. All they care about are the things that conveniently sell in the media. So how ridiculous is that?
Right. Now, I'm going to do something real quick, and it's going to solidify exactly what you just said. I am looking for an article that my agency released on a double homicide that we worked just a couple months ago. And I'm not going to say what it is. I am just going to show it to you because I think it's important that any Black person watching this understand that I am not against Black lives, little b, little m. I am completely against the movement because, in my personal opinion, I feel the Black Lives Matter movement, all they're doing is perpetuating racism, and they're using vulnerable Black people as pawns in order to get their agenda across.
That's exactly right. And most of the leaders are white. As you said, the mega donors to Black Lives Matter are white. The leaders and string pullers are white power brokers.
Absolutely.
And they're not here in our neighborhoods trying to make minority communities better.
No, absolutely not. And that's what I'm getting at. If you're going to say Black Lives Matter, you have to be able to back it up and protect all Black lives. And all the things that threaten Black lives needs to be at the top and at the forefront of what you are doing. Okay? Do not sit there and tell me that we're not talking about abortion in the Black community. What do you mean? Or we're not talking about single-parent homes. Do you not realize that single-parent homes in the Black community are detrimental to us as Black people because it makes us more vulnerable and susceptible to crime because we don't know anything else?
Yes.
All right, we don't have that structure.
And this isn't two Christian conservative guys talking about it. You know who else agrees with us? Barack Obama. Barack Obama made a very popular speech where he agrees exactly with what you and I are saying right now, that fatherless homes lead to high school dropouts. They lead to children outside of marriage. They lead to higher rates of incarceration. And I could go on. A lot of terrible stuff is tied to fatherlessness. This is not a partisan issue. And yet BLM, the organization, is silent on it. They don't do anything to help this pandemic that is facing us. And sadly, it's not even just one population. It's not just the Black population. It's rising in the white population. It's rising in the Hispanic population. And they all need help, and it needs to be addressed.
Right. Now, all right, I'm going to share my screen again, and I just want you to read that headline. Just take a look at the headline. And This is exactly what I'm talking about when I say all Black lives matter.
All right, so here you go. Update. Raceland man arrested for first-degree murder in double homicide in Raceland.
Okay, and I'm going to stop there, and I'm going to scroll right back down to the pictures.
Yep. So it looks like they said a man arrested, so it looks like a man killed 2 minority women.
Yep. Okay, so I'm going to stop sharing the screen here. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Those 2 Black girls, and it's not my place because I'm not God,
mm-hmm.
but in a human perspective, those 2 Black girls did not deserve to die. And notice I'm saying Black on purpose. Okay.
Yeah.
Those 2 Black girls did not deserve to get shot in the head.
Mm.
Okay. Where in the hell was Black Lives Matter when that happened?
Yes. Yeah. Where's the protest? Where's the news story? Where's the call? Where's Al Sharpton saying, we need to change our population. We need better safety in our communities. You don't see it happening. Where's Don Lemon or Anderson Cooper on CNN saying, we need stories about this because this happens every day in our communities and it's too much and we're losing lives. You don't see it happen because it doesn't fit their narrative.
Right. But I can tell you right now, when this video publishes, I'm going to have people saying, well, you see, the Black guy got arrested. He went to jail for what he did. I'm going to tell you why he went to jail. Because it took the community to understand when several deputies and detectives spoke to the people in that community, by the way, which is all Black, we told them we are sick and tired of working homicides where there are young Black people dying from this community.
Yeah.
Okay. And it took for us to be very compassionate, which my agency is compassionate about these things. White, Black, Mexican, whatever. We're compassionate about these things. It took for us to get in there, and it took me praying that people would cooperate with us. And it took a pastor from that community to gather a group of people that were sick and tired of seeing Black people die at such a young age, at the hands of reckless people, okay, just for no reason. All right? If you're listening and watching this, and if you're Black and you support BLM, do not comment on my post saying, well, you see the Black guy was arrested and blah, blah, blah. I get that. Don't get on my page and say, well, it wasn't because, you can't say it was about race and it wasn't about racism. I don't want to hear that crap. Okay.
And not only that, but I'd add on to that. Look, people say, well, it wasn't about racism. Okay. So how about this? How about you go to the families of those two young women and you tell them, I understand your daughter's dead, but hey, at least she wasn't shot by a racist. You think that matters when your sister or your daughter is dead? I don't care if it was a Black man, a white man, a Hispanic man, or an Asian man who pulled the trigger. My family member is dead. That is what we should be upset about. It's a loss of life. And as you and I would recognize, a loss of someone made in the image of God. Exactly. And we love to talk about, but isn't racism worse? Well, we can talk about that later. Let's first solve the problem of losing life, period. Just lost lives. I don't care who pulled the trigger. Let's stop that. And then we can tackle those other issues down the road.
Yeah, absolutely. Now, I'll sit here and I'll even go on to say, going back to George Floyd, every single person in America was on board with BLM, if you will.
Yeah.
George Floyd died.
Yep. Everybody
agreed that the way he died was heinous. It didn't need to happen. It was out of hand. Me as a cop, I would have been the person to say, okay, I think the crime was he tried to give a counterfeit $20 bill or something like that.
Yeah.
I would have been like, okay, he's gone. He left the store. You know who he is. Okay, we'll get a warrant for his arrest. No big deal.
Yeah. Simple.
You know?
Yep.
Simple. But I can't speak for those cops because I was not there. I wasn't there to see what they did. However, I saw it on somebody's camera. Okay. But everybody agrees that the way he died was horrible. Okay. The way Breonna Taylor died was horrible. Mm-hmm. The way Eric Garner died was horrible. The way the guys here in Baton Rouge died was horrible. The way the cops died were horrible. The way that these black kids and black people in these riots and protestings died was horrible. My point is
David Dorn. A local hero, right? Retired. He went out to help his community. And why does his black life not matter? Because he was killed in the wrong way.
Yep.
That's from a media perspective. They're race baiters. They don't care about us. They want to use and control us.
Yeah. And let's talk about the Democrats for a second. I don't want to be so harsh toward a group of people, but I'm going to make this statement because I think it's important. Black people, wake up. Okay. Stop blindly following people, excuse my language, who don't give a damn about you.
Yeah.
All they do is they show up every 4 years with their hand out asking for your vote so they can turn around and give you a handout, give you food stamps, give you welfare, give you anything you need that is dependent of the government to keep you quiet. Mm-hmm. I promise you, all of you black people that support BLM, you are way smarter than you think. And if you open your eyes and see what the Democratic Party is doing, Republicans too, I'm not counting them out. If you can see
they're not perfect. Yeah,
they're not perfect. But if you can see what they're doing and that they're using black people as pawns, you will continue to be a slave to this government. Okay?
Yep.
Yes, pay your taxes. However, you want to talk about unemployment rate? The Democrats keep that low for a reason so they can keep you in their pockets. Okay?
Yeah.
The Democrats were the party that wanted to keep slavery. The Democrats were the party that wanted to keep racism going and segregation going.
Segregation, slavery.
Jim Crow laws.
And the myth that there was a party swap is entirely inaccurate. I want to hit on that just real quick since you mentioned the history, the racist history of the Democrat Party. The Democrat Party also supported abortion, which was attempted black genocide. That is plain and simple what it was implemented as. They wanted to get rid of blacks through abortion if necessary. Yep. And look, the party swap it didn't happen. In the era that the South became increasingly free and less racist, when it started changing from slavery to being free, it became increasingly Republican. In the era in which this party swap is allegedly said to have happened, only one Democrat switched from Democrat to Republican. One. The rest who stood against desegregation, they all stayed Democrat. And there are more examples I could give, but that is a myth. And it's used popularly by the Democrat Party and leadership to, again, keep minority populations in line. They want to keep people in boxes. Black guy, put him in this box. Hispanic guy, put him in this box. Gay guy, put him in this box. Why? Because when we're in boxes, we're easier to control. They categorize you into these boxes, and then they can control your population and feed you what you want to hear. And as you said, they never want to pull you all the way up. They never want to pull you off that cliff and really bring you to equality. What they want to do is keep feeding you a little bit more rope so that you're always hanging off the side of the cliff, and they're always the ones in power saying, hey, here's a little bit of a handout, but we're not going to give you a truly prosperous life, just a little bit of a handout so you vote for us, and then you'll need to come back to us in 4 more years because we're not giving you what you truly need to succeed. That's what they do.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Like you want to talk about living on a modern day plantation or modern day slavery, if you will. That's it. That is it right there. And what I had this, I can't believe I'm about to confess this. I keep up with my TikTok, not on purpose because the notifications never stop. I made one video and the whole world hates me because I'm against Black Lives Matter movement.
I was going to say, you're very popular on TikTok, though. You do some good work. So,
well, I had to, in black terms, if you will, drag a 13-year-old today. Okay. And this is the thing that that irks me. I'm going to read exactly what she actually put on my video.
Good. I think reading these interactions is actually very valuable because lots of times they speak from a place of being informed by the rest of the community that they're speaking for. In this case, the Democrat community, the leftist community.
Absolutely. Now, I may not find it because I'm looking for it, but I can almost. I found it. Her screen name is 06 Precious .a.13. Go figure. And she says, you do realize, and I'm going to read it just like she wrote it. She said, you do realize it's not just George Floyd or cops. You're, Y-O-U-R, missing the point. You might as well be